Peace and welcome to the Edible Activist Podcast. I am your host, Melissa L. Jones, and your absolutely favorite edible activist. Welcome back, y'all, for another live show here on YouTube. I'm just excited that y'all decided to come back and hang with me. Definitely have a wonderful episode in store for you all tonight. So I'm going to keep it really brief, but I always have to plug in the YouTube channel. So if you have not subscribed to our channel, please find us at Food Talks in Color on YouTube and hit that subscribe button. We launched a few weeks ago on YouTube. This is something new that we've been doing, that I've been doing. So tap in, subscribe, let me know what you like about the episodes, the content. So want to plug that in. Also, be sure to follow us, Food Talks in Color, on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. All right. I'm shouting out all the socials. So Food Talks in Color on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, so that you can stay up to date on the next live, on different clips that I post, maybe even some upcoming events and experiences. We're not there yet, but this is all about the podcast. So stay tuned. All right. So I think those are all of my plugs in the interim. I am super excited as always. It is a term that I always use because I am always excited, especially when I get to come on here and talk and interview an amazing guest. But just as a primer, it's hot, y'all. It's hot. And I've been thinking about y'all edible activists, my edible activists, these gardeners and growers out here, right? This heat wave has not been a joke, but I know y'all have been diligent. You have been faithful to your garden plots. You have been faithful to your backyards. You've been faithful in growing those cucumbers, those melons, those watermelons, but y'all been sweating. So I wanted to invite a special guest, a returning guest, an edible activist alum who's been on this show before, who's graced the show before, to share some tips with us on, not just how to sustain your garden, because we do want to talk about that, but how to take care of yourselves out in this heat. So hopefully these are some tips that you can apply when you're out in the backyard. So without further ado, I'm going to bring on my very special guest, Dominque Charles, who is the founder and creator of Pots and Pans. All right. So let me bring her onto my virtual stage. Welcome, Dominque.
What's good?
It's so good to see you. See you.
Girl, it's so good to be seen. Okay.
I love it. I love it. So, y'all know I'm on Instagram, which is sometimes a great place to be and sometimes not. Instagram didn't hear that. But so I'm scrolling sometimes. I'm scrolling, right? And, Dominque is, said, y'all, it's hot and I want your gardens to stay popping and continue to be popping. And here's some tips. And I said, I hit her up on the DM. I slid in the DM and I said, Dominque. I said, can you please come on my show and get some tips? I said, it's hot out here. I said, not only do I want folks' gardens to be like healthy and well and thriving, but I also want us to be taking care of ourselves as well. So Dominque is joining me again, a returning guest on the show. So glad to have you back. Dominque is actually, she's from New Orleans. She's a New Orleans native. She resides here in Washington, D.C. She has an amazing business called Pots and Pans. So it's all about her adventures in gardening and what she whips up in the kitchen. But she be out in these backyards, y'all, in these streets, and she helps families get their plots started, from that initial journey. So for those who haven't even started growing, like, she will help you do that. So she has an entire story. We're not going to go fully into it. So what I am going to ask is that y'all go check out episode 70. All right. So that y'all can get into Dominque's story, because she has a rich story. And you get to hear a little bit about her family lineage and how she got into growing, because she's a byproduct of her family, y'all. Like, that's how she got into this space. But welcome, Dominque, again.
Thank you for having me. I just want to say I have a cold, everyone. Not the COVID, but I have a little cold. So, bear with me a little bit. So, hey, Melissa.
Hey there. All right, so let's get started. We're going to jump right into it because I want to jump in with some tips. First of all, I'm going to be calling Dominque a superstar, and y'all going to find out why in a few moments. But superstar and Dominque superstar.
My name.
So Dominque, it's hot. It's hot out here. We have been facing 90-degree weather, literally 100-degree weather. And we are out. We are faithful. Well, y'all are in these gardens, okay? Like in these plots. And I've been thinking a lot about us. And I was just like, I really want us to take care of ourselves and be well while we're out here growing food for our family and for ourselves and cultivating. So I really wanted to give, our viewers, some tips on, if they're out in the gardens and they're all facing the extreme heat. What's been working for you? So I want to touch on like maybe 3 tips, that's
Okay.
been working for you to take care of yourself while you've been out there doing your garden thing. And then we'll switch on over to, okay, how to really make sure your garden is intact during this heat because it's
Yeah.
hot.
Well, the first thing I've done is I've really made sure that my dermatologist will be so proud of me. I wear my sunscreen. I also reapply my sunscreen. I think that's the first thing that so many, I know it sounds so like, girl, where are you going here? But no, seriously, I think oftentimes we spend so much time in the yard that we don't consider, we're like, oh, I put it on in the morning. But I've been really, really doing sunscreen. But outside of that, I've made sure to start earlier in the heat wave. I typically would wake up I have an alarm set for 7:20 to go water the garden. We have to move that joker up to 6 o'clock because it's just too hot. Like, I think there have been days like, and I have the alarm set, but then sometimes you're dragging, so I may end up outside around 8 o'clock. I can't end up outside at 8 o'clock, so I've had to make it a point to really just wake up earlier. Um, Make sure I am, utilizing my sunscreen for myself to protect myself. And just like the plants, making sure I'm drinking water. So, or just staying hydrated. I was a little dehydrated earlier this week and I had to have, Gatorade and all the different things. But yeah, making sure I'm staying hydrated. I literally have 3 things of water over here. I was telling Melissa earlier. So yeah, I
Yes.
mean, those are my main things to like protect myself. I don't do this as often only because I wake up a little early, but sometimes I wear longer sleeves to make sure I'm protecting my skin. Because again, it sounds great to be like, oh, I'm gonna go outside. Yes, I wear my overalls. Maybe not every day, but I definitely want to protect myself and get in and get out because it's just too hot to be outside. Not
What's
for long.
wrong with wearing your overalls every day though, if that's what you wanted to do?
Girl, I will wear overall. I live for a one piece, okay? Whether it's a dress, an overall, a jumpsuit, a coverall, I'm here for it. But right now, I have some overalls that are a little lighter weight, but the ones that I primarily wear are a little bit too heavy for this heat wave, and I just no, it's a lot.
I hear you. I actually just sounds a little bit hot, but I when I would see, whether I'm just like driving or, in photos, I would see, folks like wearing long sleeves and
Oh
overalls
yeah,
and
definitely.
hats. And I'm thinking like, you've got to be really, really hot. But you make a point because especially as black folk, melanin folk, we got to protect our skin. But I'm so glad. I mean, as your first tip, you said sunscreen. Like, oh my gosh, your
Sunscreen.
dermatologist is going to be like singing your praises. Okay. Make sure your
She's
dermatologist
probably
watches
talking
this.
about me because I have allergies as well to metals. So she's like, "But you have on those earrings."
So Deb said yes to sunscreen and hydration. That's a really big thing. I remember my dermatologist always saying, even my doctor, gotta wear your sunscreen, gotta wear your sunscreen. But that's real. That's actually a really important tip. That's a super important tip. And especially if you do need to start later, well, you should be wearing regardless. So let's just say that you should be wearing it regardless. But especially if you're starting later in the sun than normal, which
I
I
don't
know
even
is
think
not recommended. I
I
know.
was about to say, I think that that's borderline irresponsible at
I
this point.
I know
Like,
it's not, but some listen, I can't
listen,
judge. I can't judge people's
I'm gonna
schedules.
be
Okay.
honest. One day I had to start so late. I looked at it and I was like, only the strong survive because this don't make sense. Like, they'll be all right. They're gonna make it do what it do. And you know what? They worked. I did go water later that day, but I mean, I just like again the day got ahead of me, and I'm just like, oh no, I can't go out there. Mm-mm.
Exactly. Exactly. Okay. So we have sunscreen. Stay hydrated for
Stay
sure.
hydrated and setting
Okay.
your watering alarm earlier.
Set your watering. So for your garden.
Right.
Okay. Okay. So
Oh
we'll.
well, I mean, I guess it's for both, but it's for your garden for you. Another
But you should actually start drinking water super early. Like, listen, it's recommended to drink at least 32 ounces of water when you wake up. Is it easy to do? I know. Is it easy to
32.
do? Is it easy to do? It's not. Or at least 16 ounces.
Does the
32
water
ounces is a
have to
lot.
be plain? Can it be boiled with roasted beans? Is that
No,
considered
we're
water?
talking
No,
water,
no.
like
Oh.
with a twinge of lime, some lemon, something, water.
I mean, I try to drink water when I first wake up, but I'm gonna be honest. Me and my coffee pot are like,
I'm not judging. I'm not judging. Okay. So we have our sunscreen, we have the hydration, we have our clothes, overalls. What about hats? Like what? Or
so
do you
I am
wear
not a
hats?
big hat wearer, but
Okay.
for multiple reasons. I think hats are cool. I'm just getting into hats because you knew me before I locked my hair. So I had my little tapered fro. So if I put a hat on, I would look like a grass cutter man. And I didn't wear hats. So now, oh, you catch me with a little baseball cap, a little visor. So yes, hats are great. Wear your hat. But
What
I
about a
feel,
bucket hat? Like a cute I love bucket
girl,
hats.
wait a
I
minute.
love a
We
good
need a
bucket
bucket
hat.
hat. Do we have edible activist bucket? Let me make a
Actually, I
plastic
do
bucket.
have. They're coming soon, and I do. I had some, and I only have one for now. But I will make sure. I will make sure that you get your
You didn't
bucket
even
hat.
tell the people how we met. It was
I,
random on Instagram.
oh my!
Like, can
I
I buy a
didn't.
shirt from you? That's
Yes.
how I met you.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, y'all. So I got to go back down memory lane for just a moment. So when I launched my Edible Activist campaign, which is at this point it's 2022, I don't even know what year it was, but it was maybe about 4 or 5 years ago. Dominique, not only that did you we just bump into each other on Instagram, no, you supported my campaign. So Dominique
Yeah.
was a supporter
But
of
it
my
was over.
campaign.
The campaign was over. And I saw Maisha in the shirt. And I was like, where did you get that shirt? And she was like, oh, Melissa. And I was like, who is that? So she sent me your Instagram. And because I was pretty early in this space. And so Maisha sent me your information. I was like, hi, do you have any shirts left? And you were like, yes. And you were like, you can send me the money here. And I was like, am I going to really get this shirt? I met this girl on Instagram in her DMs and I got the shirt. I wear it all the time.
She got the shirt, y'all. I am a woman of my word.
Yes.
But that is how we met. Oh my goodness, I'm so
Mhm.
glad that you brought that up. Thank you. Oh my gosh, I love that so much. So all right, y'all. So y'all heard a few tips about how to take care of yourselves in the garden. Don't get out there trying and don't overdo it, right? Like if it's like super hot, I
Well,
just feel
wait,
like
can I
what
get
is it?
into that stuff?
Yes.
Okay, because one thing I look at is don't overdo it. I think a girlfriend of mine sent me a picture of her cucumbers, and I was like, "Oh yeah, girl." I was like, "Are we sure those are not cucumbers that are supposed to look like that?" She's like, "Yes." Okay, cool. So my thing is, if you like, I had some zucchini burn up in the heat wave of like last week. Let it go. Pull it.
Mm.
Like I'm actually getting ready to do content on it because I think that sometimes, our heart is so into this and we really want this zucchini. Girl, let it go. Because you're going to try to spend so much time outside in more heat. It it has lived its life. Let's move on and do some succession growing and get the next thing going.
Oh, okay. I listen. I'm not mad at that. I'm not
Oh
mad
yeah,
at that.
no.
Yeah.
Like literally, I have some zucchini that I'm also tired of eating zucchini. It was, zucchini produces. I have eaten.
So I'm gonna start calling you zucchini now.
Listen, listen. I was like, oh Lord. So when that plant died from the heat wave, I was like, okay, yes, yep, it's gone. I'm not gonna
You
try
got
to.
right,
I'm not trying.
Dominique.
I am not gonna salvage this. I'm not gonna look for signs of life. No, I'm gonna pull it up and I'm gonna put down some collards. I'm gonna, put something else down to grow for the second half of the summer/fall.
Now, what about weeding and stuff during this heat? Like, is that something you just let go to? I know that's a hard thing, and there, weeding is controversial too for some folks. I feel like, but still, let's talk. Like for the folks who do, like that's a lot. It's a lot of work already, but
It
also to do
is.
that in this type of weather, like, are you also on the same notion of like, let
I
it
am. I mean,
go,
I kind of feel
or
like if you're outside and if you have like a time window, like I think there's safe windows depending on the heat. So let's say your window is 20 minutes to be outside. You know, if you have done all your yard work within your 20-minute safe space limit and you want to weed, go for it. If you're not that adamant about it, I let it go. Because I also feel like there are times where people try to make the garden so beautiful and you lose track of what you're doing. Like I have tomatoes everywhere. It looks crazy, but if I try to get in there and make it look really, really pretty, am I trying to make it look pretty for the edible presentation? I mean, for the physical aesthetic, or am I trying to make it nice to have more fruit and vegetables? And a lot of times it's really for an aesthetic. And so I think, unless the weeds are massive, if it doesn't fit into your schedule of being outside in a safe time frame in the heat, I say move on. Let it
ooh,
go. It's gonna be all right.
ooh, y'all better jot these notes down. Dominique is out here
But
giving
that's what
y'all a
I do.
word, and that's fine. This is what okay, Dominique's. This is what Dominique does. Okay, so if you choose to apply, that's fine. But it's hot, all
Mhm.
right. And I know how folks feel. They're sensitive about their plots. They sensitive about their gardens. They're sensitive, and as they should be. It's a beauty. It's a beauty. It's a masterpiece of work, right? And for a lot of folks, it is that aesthetics, right? In addition to great produce that you can harvest and cook. But I also don't want nobody passing out because you're trying to get it right, and it's
Listen,
just it's just not worth it.
I'm not that person. I think
Yeah.
I love a good a little hair, a little swoop, but I'm also like I also have hairs that are out of place, and I think that's how I feel about the garden. I like it to look nice, but I also am not gonna stress myself out over it looking perfect. It's just that's not the end game for me.
I ooh
Because I want
ooh
growth. I want flourishing. Okay.
ooh ooh
I want
ooh
flourishing hair. I want flourishing tomatoes. It don't matter how pretty we get there, but I just want them to flourish. Okay.
ooh yes. Oh my gosh, you gonna tug on someone's heartstring or
Listen,
something? Maybe it's not a heartstring. You gonna
it's
tug
two
on
things that you
something
will
with
always
somebody here
make work
that
is a good analogy: hair and relationships. And you and people will always be like,
all right. I this is okay. I'm being fed because this is a perspective that I've never even have brought into the conversation. And and again, I was just like, I want people to be safe out here in these garden streets, right? But just thinking about like the overdoing it and the aesthetics, and it's just like, no, like, do you want to grow some food, or do you want it to look pretty, and is it worth
yeah.
getting that leafy section all pretty in this 100-degree weather, or like, no.
Now, granted, there's some weeds that are starting to take over, and if they're taking over, they're also taking the nutrients and the water that you're pouring into the soil. So I think it's a ebb and flow. If it's just a couple blades of grass, let that go. But if it's something that's massive and invasive, then that's a different story. But again, you have to make sure you're doing these things within your safe window. So if you've exceeded your
Mm.
safe window or your safety window of like being outside in the heat, you got to go back and do that another day. So,
Wow.
or another time.
And would you say that safety window, is that something that I mean, I know that for your suggestion and recommendation, which I highly support, to start earlier because when that sun comes out, it's a wrap, right? But is that
Mhm.
safety window also just something that's predetermined by the individual, or is it also attached to, hey, that safety window is starting as early as you can up until a certain point?
I definitely think it's attached to an individual. So I tend to bring my puppy outside. He sometimes comes in the videos. Y'all can see him, Butter, and Butter
His
when
name is
he's over,
Butter.
his name is
Yes.
Butter. So I think when we talk, no, I think last time my other puppy had died. I had an older dog. He passed away. He was awesome. His name was Basil. So I had Basil and Butter.
I love it.
But
Oh gosh.
Butter is like he's a doodle, so he can't do heat. So he only has so long outside, and then he's gonna go sit under the tree. And so that's kind of also my like gauge of like how much time am I out here because I know he can't do heat. So it's like it's cool that if you have a pet to be like, okay, I'm on the clock. He's gonna play, he's gonna potty, and then he's gonna tap out because it's too hot for him. So I would say that time frame for me is about 20 minutes. It's even early in the morning. There's a period where he's like, "Oh, girl, it's that."
So when Butter is like, listen, I'm going in the shade, you know that is your cue
That's
to
the cue.
wrap it up.
Wrap it up. He is over it.
I love
He's
that.
Dunzo.
Oh my! Actually, that's just a testament to just how beautiful, like, pups are. They're companions, and
Oh,
like they're sending you messages like all the time. They're telling you
he
like,
is the
"Mom,
best.
like, chill."
He's the best and the worst. I took pictures this morning. I was in the bed. I have two showers. I took a shower downstairs this morning, and I was like, "What is that noise?" And I look out I like pull the shower curtain, and he's brought all his toys into the bathroom. Like, what's hello? What are you doing? It's time to play.
That is so. Please, I need you to take a photo of that next time so that we can share that with
I will
everyone
send this to
here.
you.
Those were some awesome, awesome, awesome tips, Dominique. Oh my gosh. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Okay, so we are protecting ourselves out in the heat while we're in our gardens, right? So what are some of the things that we can do? How can we protect our actual gardens, right? Like in this heat. Like I know that things, and I've been a witness to this. It's just like, oh, the whole tomato just been burnt up because it's just so hot outside. And
Girl.
also, y'all, if you guys have any questions, put them in the chat while Dominique is here. We can answer them for you. Because you shared some really great tips on your Instagram too. Just to keep your plots and gardens popping during this heat wave because burnt up veggies is a thing. This type of
Again,
heat.
there's a zucchini
So
out there that's burnt. I'm just waiting to pull it up. So sorry, it's cold. So something I haven't talked about is really how you organize your garden. So you can put shades up. I had a client last summer who was really awesome. We did this cool raised bed for her, but based off of where it was located, I mean, the sun was just burning into everything. So her husband created almost like a sun tent. So if you've ever been to the best place I could think of that had these like little it's those triangular kind of shades, almost like a sail. They used to have them at Cultivate the City up on the rooftop. And I was like, oh, that's perfect. So her husband made it out of like some old bed sheets. It was so nice. But so I would say if you be mindful of where you place things from the beginning, and then also in terms of placement, this is what I was getting to, how you organize your plants from the beginning in terms of like in the ground. So, putting things, protecting them naturally. Zucchini has really big leaves. Butternut squash has really big leaves. So you can kind of put that over put it in front of something that maybe can't really take the heat. So it's creating a natural shade boundary, if that makes sense. So a lot of it is, and I think sometimes old gardeners know, sometimes newer gardeners don't understand why can't they just put, I want this here, this here, this here. But a lot of gardening goes into planning. So, those things like that, you want to make sure you're doing it in advance to really protect those items. Also, you can plant things that don't necessarily require as much as much water next to the other thing, so it can kind of all balance each other out and again protect the other plants. I don't know, I think those are my things that initially is just the act creating shade, and also making sure you plant things that will naturally provide shade for each other.
Okay. What about watering? Oh, somebody's going off.
That's butter. That's butter. Spotty
Superstar.
time.
What about watering, especially like while you're away? So like you're away, you're traveling, it's hot. What can someone do? Like
I think it depends on how long you're gone.
I'm gone for a week.
Oh, girl, call
And
your
the
neighbor.
whole week, and I don't got nobody to come and check in on my garden. It's 97 one day, it's 99 the other day. It's look, if you just tell me I'm just out of luck, just
I'm like, do you have a sprinkler
it looks like
system?
this is where this is going.
Well, no. I mean, I'm gonna be traveling for an extended vacation, and I'm like, gotta find a phone a friend to like do it for me, because some people I've seen on Instagram. Now I'm not this savvy, but like take this is so sad. Take a gallon jug and like have it hanging, and then put like an IV drip line. I'm like, oh, okay, So that's a thing for some folks. I don't have the space. I mean, maybe I do, but I don't know if I'm that talented to do that. So I've seen people do that. A friend of mine just recently got a Bluetooth sprinkler system from Amazon. So those are things to consider. I know if you're going for a weekend, you can do this really cool trick that I shared recently. Did you want to show it?
I am going to show it. I am going to show it. All right. So we're going to make a brief transition, right? So, the reason why I actually kind of started off calling Dominique a superstar, because first of all, she's just a superstar in her own right. All right. So regardless, let's just say that. But Dominique made her second appearance on the Today Show, like very recently. All right. With the amazing, Hoda and Jen.
So it's Hoda and Jenna's show, but Jenna was on vacation. So it was this comedian, Michelle Collins, who is hilarious. She was really funny.
Oh my
so it was those two.
Yes. So we're going to show a very brief clip, and I'm also going to drop the link in the chat so that you guys can watch the full clip. And
Please
also
do.
I'm going to drop, we'll share, and actually I'll be sharing from Dominique's Plots and Pans Instagram page, so you guys can actually go ahead and follow her as well and watch the entire clip. But she shared some really amazing and just savvy tips on the show, and she was on the Today Show, y'all. Like, what? I can't. All right, so give me a moment, and I'm going to share this because I want all y'all to see this. And all right.
Hey, I hear it.
Cooking has led her to start a whole new side gig called Plots and Pans.
Yeah. Dominique Charles is an accountant, but when she's not crunching numbers at the office, you can find her in her garden.
Her natural green thumb and love for gardening and cooking has led her to start a whole new side gig called Plots and Pans.
Yeah, she's got some great tips to keep your garden growing this summer. Dominique, New Orleans, born, D.C. You're living in D.C. now. We love that you represent the 504 and the 202.
Yes.
Okay, let's start with watering, because I think it seems simple. However, we don't do it right.
All right. So when you are, you normally you want to take your watering can and you get in there, but really, let's think about when you're traveling for the summertime and you're going for a long little weekend. We're going to use a wine bottle.
This is clever.
How and what?
So what we do is you want to fill your wine bottle up with some water, and then you're just going to do a quick flip.
Wow.
And push it
in there.
Wait,
so it's
what?
And so what it's going to do is it's like a slow drip, a slow release. And so over your weekend, now don't do this for like a week, but your long little weekend, you can go for it. You see, it's just a really slow drip.
Instead of dumping it in and then
don't water them.
No.
I don't even want. That's why they never live.
No, you want to water them.
Yes.
So we'll find. And then also you can use an oil. So you want to use that when you get ready to start your plants. You'll obviously bury this with it. And so it's a ceramic dish. And so it just slowly irrigates the water out. It's super cool and obviously super beautiful. Yeah. So, but different ways that you can water your plants, especially if you don't have a sprinkler system.
Okay. What if you have pests? And that's the thing. We have some of those eating away at leaves.
Yay!
Superstar.
I'll be there. I'm
How was that experience? That was your second time being brought back to the show.
Wow. This is my first. You're getting your exclusive. This is my first time like openly talking.
You heard? I'm telling y'all, there's a lot of exclusive stuff that has happened on the show. All right. Some folks give credit to, some don't, but I'm just saying. All right.
So it was actually. I feel like I'm getting emotional now. It was so overwhelming because I have truly watched the Today Show since I was a kid with my parents, Willard Scott, Brian Gumbel, Jane Pauley. Like, I love the Today Show. I watch the show every day. So for this to be something that's so ingrained in my life on a regular basis, for this to be the opportunity. So I was really excited. That Tuesday before, all of a sudden, I got completely overwhelmed. I reached out to my best friend, Christina. And Christina, before I could hit her with the second text, she called me and started praying for me. And that's just who she is. And oh God, that's just who she is. And so then my sister came. My sister escorted me And it was just the best feeling ever because this is my big sister who, again, has experienced this with me the whole way. Like, this is what we grew up with. She watches today. So I was okay. And then we're in Union Station. And I like break down crying. And I was like, I'm just so blessed. Oh, God.
Oh.
I just kind of had ebb and flow moments. And then when that morning I got up, I was earbuds in, I did my makeup, I did all the things, and I'm just kind of like laser focused. I'm praying, and just kind of moving, right? And I was kind of good. We walk in, the car drops us off, and then we get to security. And at security, you see the sign that says Studio 1A. And I just completely lose it at security. And the guys were like, it's okay, baby girl. But it was just so amazing because I can truly say I have wanted this. I have worked for this. I've worked really hard. I'm thankful for the opportunities that people have provided me with the things that I know and the things that I don't know of my name being spoken in rooms, right? And so that was just such an amazing feeling. And then by the time I got on set, it just I just felt so comfortable. I felt like I belonged there. Because people are like, oh my God, you look like you just were confident. And I was like, I was. Like, I just felt
you
like
did amazing.
Thank you.
This is national TV. You did amazing, Dominique.
And you know what? It's different because, still being humble, but I'd also had an opportunity on the Weather Channel. So I've been on national TV before, but the Weather Channel was cable. So, other people hadn't really seen it. So then today's show, where it is network TV and any and everyone, and I have friends in California watching it, it was just such a cool opportunity. So I'm just so appreciative. They really have enjoyed me. So,
girl, you going back. You going back. I can see you going, listen, you going back.
Maybe.
Multiple times. I see. You know what's so beautiful is that I remember when you started, right? A lot of people who I've interviewed on my show, they were at the, this was the infancy of their work, of their journey, right? And so oftentimes we think that we have to become like this great big, which you are, influencer in your own right. I don't like to be called an influencer. I don't like the term for myself, but I'm happy that this platform is an influence to people. But you are an influencer in your own right. But people think that, you have to have this great big following and you have to have this and, like you are a test, like your work just speaks for itself. Your work speaks for itself. And like you said, your name, and that it's true testament that your name is being spoken in rooms that you don't even know about. And then you end up on the Today Show, not once, but twice. And I think it's remarkable. And again, you did a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful job. And I see you back on there. So thank you for sharing that. I felt all of that. I felt all of it.
Girl, I'm such a crier. So I was like, pull it together, Dominique. You got a cold. You can't be crying and can barely talk. But yeah, it was just really cool. I really am appreciative. And I think you really hit it on the head is that I don't have a huge following. There's some people, I don't put out a million reels and whatnot a day. And not as a jab or anything, but I work full time. So it's sometimes it can be a lot to be trying to balance the real job or full-time work, the work of plots and pans, the business of plots and pans, and then social media of plots and pans. So it can be a lot. And I've just decided that I'm going to give what I can. But I really, sometimes I feel like I don't want to put a lot of effort into social media likes and whatnot. I want to put out good stuff, but I don't want to like just put out things just to put it out. Like,
yeah.
It has to make sense to me. So like I've been working on something about growing potatoes all summer long because I wanted to show the full scope of it. So some of the things aren't going to be in the time frame that some of these people, and then some people are just really creative. Let me give them that.
Absolutely.
I'm such a math-minded person that I don't have that sense of creativity. So I don't want to like poo poo on them because I'm so bad, but like some people are just really really creative.
You're absolutely right. I think we're in similar boats. I'm more so, people would never know it, but I'm more operational in logistics. So it's the stuff that actually really excites me beyond anything else. I love getting on here and talking to people, but I'm so about operations and logistics that, it's people are creative. I'm be y'all are doing some really like snazzy things out here. Goodness gracious. But that was awesome. We did have a question that I wanted to get to.
Who got questions?
Yes, Myra in the building. I'd like to start a garden, but I don't have a green thumb. Can you recommend what I should start with? Well, you don't have a green thumb. You have a brown thumb, all right? And you are a byproduct of our ancestors, Myra, so you can do some things, all right? That's my initial response. But Dominique is really here to give you a firmer answer.
Excuse me. So Myra, okay, so it goes like this. My first question, I challenge you because I don't want to recommend you start with something if you don't like that thing. So I always ask, what do you like? And then once you pick what you like, I was like, okay, well then you can start to grow from there. Now obviously it makes sense for your area. So I really love lemons, but it doesn't particularly make sense to my area. But something else I really love is ginger. Well, here's my show and tell. I have this ginger that's already started to sprout. So I'm going to go ahead and go bury that and, grow some more ginger.
Can you lift that up again? I love ginger. Yes. 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 And y'all, like homegrown, like homegrown ginger tastes so different from store-bought ginger. All right.
Everything tastes so different.
Everything does. But I don't know why I was so shocked about ginger. Like, because it's not as strong. That's my experience with ginger.
Let me tell you what I had the other day. I'm growing celery this year. And
are you really?
I am. Girl, my backyard is it's intense. There are 7 different varieties of tomatoes, 4 different varieties of sweet potatoes, Yukon Gold potatoes, bell peppers. Oh, the bell peppers are cool because I grew them from one that I literally started it from seed from a bell pepper that I cooked.
Awesome. Okay.
Bell peppers, Baltimore fish peppers. That's one over there. The thing that is going crazy over this year is butternut squashes. But the celery, let me just jump to the celery. So some of the celery broke off, and I was like, well, I'm gonna just taste it. I'm notorious for this. I'll just start eating stuff from sometimes I wash it, sometimes I don't. Whatever, I'll be all right. So I bit into it, and I was like, dang, this is really good. And I ate some more. And one thing I noticed is that it's not as stringy as I feel like the celery is in the grocery store. Now, maybe that was just, it was still stringy, but it wasn't it wasn't, oh Lord, somebody's probably like, not a fish with, I'm sorry, y'all. But yeah, it wasn't like that celery. But it was, by the time I got to the end, I wasn't still chewing. I was chew. Okay,
it was tender. It was tender. More tender, you would say?
It was, but still crisp.
Okay.
I just find that sometimes celery in the store is just so stringy.
It is.
Almost like it's old. So, yeah, that's one thing I feel like when you grow it versus, and this is my first year growing celery. Another thing that I like better, something I like better in the grocery store than growing is lettuce. Because sometimes, oh my God, the lettuce that you grow can be so strong. And it's like, whoa, this is a lot. I need a little, let me take it down a notch. Oh my God. I've grown, the first time I had real lettuce, my mom grew it. And I was like, girl, this is a lot. You sure this is lettuce? And then I've grown arugula, and my arugula was super spicy.
Are there different varieties of arugula? What is there?
Who knows? But it was oh girl, hold on.
I love arugula, so I'm biased. So it's I pull that puppy right from the ground. Any spicy mix, I'm here for. Love a good spicy mix, but arugula, I'm here for. Goodness gracious, my sister has a question. Brace yourself.
Hey girl.
Brace yourself. Okay,
Oh, I
so
really
and then
did.
my
Must
mom
be
is in the chat too.
interesting.
She has another question. Oh my gosh, she is going to be in. She's going to call me when this live is over and be like, "Where can I find Dominique?" Because I'm a short
Wait, what
question at
kind
the
of bucket
moment.
should I use on my balcony to grow my cucumber? Girl, I'm okay. Let's first part of the question. Yes, you can use your ginger in your bucket. Just make sure you have holes drilled in it for drainage. Cucumber. Now, do you love cucumber? Is the real question. And I ask because cucumber, I can't grow. I love cucumbers. However, I can't grow cucumbers anymore because cucumbers grow like pew 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 pew. I'm pew pew pew. Like it's just nonstop. And as a person who loves cucumbers, I was overwhelmed. I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And you can pickle them, but it's a lot.
Well, she has an interesting story of how she started growing cucumbers at my parents' house. She literally ate a cucumber one day and tossed the seeds out in front of
Accidentally
the
threw it.
yard. And my parents didn't know what it was. We had neighbors coming over trying to figure it out. And then all of a sudden, cucumbers. Yep. Yep. Yep.
And they
So
were what? They were all over, weren't they? Like
they were, and they're really, I mean, the bounty is like, it's there this
it's a
year.
lot. But she said on her balcony, and I'm like,
So we have another question, and this is hilarious. So this is my mom. Everybody say hello, Mama Jones.
Hey,
Where do you
Miss
sell your
Gwen.
produce? And I'm cracking up laughing.
child, I don't sell it. I eat it. Does your mama live in DC?
My mom is in Maryland.
Oh yeah, she can get some. I don't sell it. I eat it. I'm kind of cheeky like that. I will eat it. I'll give some to my neighbors. Yeah, the only thing I won't give away are the butternut squashes or the watermelons. I gave Christina a watermelon before, but it was very painful to watch it go because you don't get a ton. So you're like,
Right. Right. Exactly.
that's a $50 watermelon. I want it back. But yeah, I have to like all my oh man, I'm kind of mad. I feel like all my tomatoes are gonna start coming up when I'm gone. But
Well,
yeah,
if you need someone to check in on your tomatoes, I am a tomato advocate. I love a
Check her
homegrown
over.
tomato. I just, pluck, pluck, pluck.
works for me.
Dominique, this has been a pleasure. Oh my gosh, this has been an absolute pleasure. It's so good to see you. You graced us. You dropped some really great gems. Just to keep our skin protected while we're out in the garden. Keep our bodies hydrated, making sure that you're covering your skin, especially us melanin folks. All right, we gotta y'all see this because it don't crack. We got to keep it intact, okay?
The thing is, it do crack, but it don't crack in the form of like lines. But
This is true. This is actually true, but we have to, we have to keep the skin smooth and silky and beautiful. So, but yeah, thank you so much for dropping those
Thank you for having
gems.
me.
Oh my gosh, absolutely. Thank you for, sharing a bit of, how we can keep our gardens healthy and intact as much as we can, during the heat, because it's been a hot summer.
It's been hot.
And you all make sure to follow Dominique. And actually what I'm going to do right now, if I cannot play a freaking video that you guys may hear, is Plots and Pans on Instagram, which I am going to drop in the chat right now. So if you're not following her, please do reach out as well, because she does consultations. But Dominique, let the viewers know where to find you. You do that. I ain't gonna say you do all that. Online, website, Twitter, Facebook, wherever. I don't know.
Okay. Well, my favorite is Instagram. Actually, that's not true. So Instagram and Facebook. So Instagram is at Plots and Pans, PLOTSANDPANS, and Facebook is Plots and Pans as well. I don't know if that's A&D or ampersand. I think it's A&D. I'm on TikTok. Everything is Plots
Are
and
you on
Pans.
TikTok too?
Girl, listen, I'm not Christian though. Don't be thinking you're gonna get a whole bunch out of me. Christian is, I will forever say he's the best TikToker in life.
He really is. Shout out to Afrobeats.
Oh, I love me some Christian. But so no, I'm on there, but that's another story for another day. And then my website is my potsandpans.com. There's actually somebody else who's a director who has Plots and Pans, and I really just want to take it from him. But it makes sense because he's a director. So, I get it.
You never know. You may have a conversation. They may reach out to you and say, hey.
I would like to.
Yeah. But that happened to me, so it can happen. It can happen. That happened to me with Edible Activists. Yeah, it did. Someone had the name, and she reached out to me. She's been on the show. And I have the Instagram handle. I haven't used it. I have it. I haven't used the platform. There's nothing on it right now, but I have the handle. So it can happen.
Are you going to give it to her?
No. She had it.
Oh.
She gave it to me.
Got it.
She gave it to me.
Makes sense.
Yeah, she gave it to me. So, yeah. But
I love
it. It can happen. Dominique, one edible act that someone can do right away after listening to this show before we conclude.
Ooh, one.
Okay.
Well,
you did this to me the last time, but you can do more than one.
Okay. Well, I have two. Use your food scraps. So if you have something, don't, throw these type of things, a sprouted ginger root away, grow it. And if you have food scraps that you like, girl, I don't want to grow it, look up your neighborhood compost and get rid of your food scraps there. So we just want to make sure we're being good citizens of the earth. And instead of getting rid of what you consider ugly fruit or vegetables or food, either regrow from it or put it in your neighborhood compost.
All right. You've heard it. All right, y'all. If you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, Food Talks in Color on YouTube, hit that subscribe button, that like button, comment as well. Let us know how you felt about today's show. Thank you again, Dominique, for gracing Edible Activists. You are an alum, okay, because you have returned.
I'm a double alum.
Official. You are an official Edible Activist alum because you've been on the show before. So you're alum.
No, I'm like now I'm twice. So I need a cap and gown.
I'm gonna give you a badge, hat. I'm gonna send you a whole kit. I'm gonna send you a whole kit. All right, y'all. Stay safe out in that heat and peace.
Peace.